Volunteers have a meaningful and positive impact on our local community. They care for youth, seniors, and the disadvantaged. They plan and implement local events. They clean, renovate, and tend community parks, gardens, and beaches. They are educators, counselors, fundraisers, and rescuers. They are everything to the hundreds of local agencies who rely on them and to the public who benefit from their donated services. But many agencies face similar challenges. One of the major issues being addressed this year is the recruitment, recognition, and retention of baby boomer volunteers. The Monterey Public Library, the City of Monterey, California State Parks, and the Monterey Bay Aquarium are agency partners in an important project, Transforming Life After 50, engaging volunteers in the library and community. The Monterey Public Library, along with the largest volunteer agencies in Monterey, has seen a decrease in the amount of middle-aged adults who participate in volunteer programs. This is an issue because baby boomers are an untapped resource of extraordinary proportions. According to Dave Eisner of the Corporation for National Community Service, they are the largest, healthiest, best educated generation in history, and they can leave an incredible legacy through service to others. They make up 1/3 of the city's residents. That's a strong potential workforce. But a majority of baby boomers report a dissatisfaction with the volunteer experience. This project seeks to bring together baby boomer-aged volunteers and local agencies to address this problem. The first activity surveyed local volunteer agencies. The results verified that agencies were experiencing the same problems and that baby boomer volunteers shared the same areas of conflict. One of the project goals is to discuss volunteer issues, so the next step involved conducting volunteer focus groups. One group consisted of boomers who are currently volunteering in the community. The other group had boomers not engaged in volunteer activities. The moderators asked the participants to share their issues with the volunteer experience. Results from both the survey and the focus groups were discussed in a forum between volunteer agencies. Representatives shared challenges and opportunities and brainstormed new strategies for volunteer engagement. This forum was also valuable because it helped to form and strengthen alliances to face future challenges.
Your expertise, your knowledge, your questions, your need for inputted information from others is going to be coming from your agency hats. And finally, we really believe that in this room there's probably some really great questions and some really great solutions. So we want to encourage you to make the use of this time to learn from each other and to share with each other.
Everybody volunteers for a different reason. You know, we have to find out what is the reason that that person is volunteering.
We still have to think about how we're going to provide opportunities to which individual boomers are going to respond and say, I want to help, I want to volunteer, using, in many cases, the skills and experience that I already have, not spending hours and hours and hours getting retrained in some way.
How does your agency consider baby boomers in your recruitment? Or does it? I mean, are you thinking, oh boy, there's a lot of baby boomers out there, I'd like to get them, and here's how I'm working with my recruitment in order to make that happen?
And then I heard, really identifying flexible opportunities.
The last step was a volunteer agency summit held at the Monterey Conference Center. The summit, led by author Jill Friedman-Fixler, provided local agencies with ideas and strategies for retooling their volunteer programs, shifting from volunteer management to volunteer engagement.
Based on the needs of greatest generation, silent generation volunteers born before 1946 who volunteered out of social obligation. You have to be a volunteer. You all have grandparents like this, right? You volunteer because it's the right thing to do. And whatever they tell you to do, you do. Well, I'm telling you that boomers aren't going to do that anymore. They want to partake in that conversation about what happens to them. So here's the risk. We can wait for baby boomers and the generations that follow to become like their parents and grandparents. We will wait a or we can be different. So the conversation that we're going to have today is about how we can be different in order to engage those people in our organization. And if we don't, the stakes are really high. They'll never come back. They'll do something else. They'll go someplace else.
The library developed an interactive webpage of resources and a collection of library materials on volunteering to reinforce new strategies gained from the summit and to serve as an ongoing resource for volunteer managers and volunteers themselves. Overall, the activities helped agencies identify strategies to recruit, recognize, and retain middle-aged volunteers. It also helped raise community awareness of the benefits of civic engagement. The findings from these activities will help our coalition of agencies to improve the quality of life for the whole community. We will all benefit from the services provided by our generous volunteers. At the same time, we must also satisfy the needs of our volunteers to keep them coming back to serve. A community can only be as healthy, vibrant, and active as our residents are willing to make it.